Welcome to today's webinar on accessibility in higher education. Thank you so much for joining us today. A couple of things to note. Closed captions have been enabled, so you do have the option to show or hide those depending on your preference. The Zoom Q&A box is open for any questions you may have throughout today's session. A recording of the session and the slide deck will be posted in the Brightspace community once we are finished, and we'll also post any questions in the question and answer area that we've received with links to additional resources that might be helpful. So let's get started with today's agenda. We'll start by sharing some background around D2L's mission and values and our commitment to accessibility. And next, we'll talk about our accessibility framework and how we support full stack accessibility for our clients. So I'll be breaking down what that means, and in that process, uncovering the tools and features within Brightspace that allow our users to create meaningful learning experiences for all. Then there will be a demonstration where I'll show you how you can actually use those features and tools in Brightspace. And to end, we will have some discussion questions and time for questions. So for some quick introductions, my name is Renata, and I am an adoption specialist here at D2L. We also have Samantha from our adoption team, and excited to also have Eggy to join us, who is an accessibility program manager here at D2L. So they will be both supporting with questions in the Q&A today. Just to clarify some terms, D2L is the company, Brightspace is our product, the learning management system, and our Brightspace community is a hub of resources where you can connect with other Brightspace users and seek out additional information on Brightspace. We'll put that link in the chat for you to join our higher education faculty group. All right, so let's kick things off with D2L's mission. So you may be familiar with already, but our mission is to transform the way the world learns, and we truly believe that every mind matters and access to high quality learning should be universal. And so that's why we are committed to accessibility in learning. So we believe that technology shouldn't limit learning opportunities, and we aim to deliver a learning experience that really meets the needs of all people, regardless of age or ability. At D2L, accessibility happens by design, so I really want to take a few minutes to discuss the values that really drive us and how that influences our product process. So our work is driven by values: inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility, and that is our idea for reaching every learner. So let's talk through the 4 different parts of this. So to start off, we design for inclusion. So our products and services are designed in a way that everybody is included. And for that, we focus on people at the edges or at the extremes. We have a partner called Fable that allows us to connect with people with disabilities so that our research and design, engineering, and support after release, we have the company of people who use different assistive technologies. Next is recognizing diversity. So why do we do this? Well, we know that learners and instructors are diverse. Everyone is different, and we need to capture those differences. And only when we do that, we can understand what the differences are and the different needs are and try to provide those different needs. And how do we do that? We do it through strategic and exploratory research. So next up is when we capture those needs, what do we offer them? So we focus on equity. Giving everyone the same thing in the name of equality doesn't always work, and I think this image shows that really well. You can see in the picture that we have 4 people with different body structures that have been given the same bicycle, and only one of the 4 is able to ride comfortably, and one of them isn't able to ride at all. So if you focus on equity, which is about equal outcomes, then each one gets a bike that's tailored to them and their needs. So in the bottom picture, we can see that everybody is on the road to success, and this is enabling equity. We do this through our design exploration, when we try to figure out which of the different solutions we design is going to be the best. And then finally, we enhance access. So what that means is we define what are the criteria that are required to make everything accessible, and then we test after creating that product. So in this matrix, the idea is that D2L always focuses on people with disabilities when we design. And when we design like that, other people who have temporary or situational constraints also benefit from that design. So let me give you an example. We caption videos for people who have hearing loss, But captions are also helpful to somebody who had an ear infection or an ear surgery and isn't able to hear sounds for a while. Or if a student is in a library or a cafe that is loud, they can still watch that video and learn because of those captions. So we do all of this based on a set of guidelines called the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines criteria, and we meet these criteria at the highest level. If you do want to access our accessibility conformance reports, they're on our accessibility standards page, and we can put a link into the chat for that for you to explore, and these resources will also be shared with you afterwards in the slide deck. So as our accessibility value proposition, we offer customer support for full stack accessibility. So what does that mean? We've done a fair amount of research on the online learning space, and we've identified 4 layers. So the layers are technology, content, pedagogy, and community. And we call this the online learning stack. The idea is that for online learning to be usable by all, each of these layers needs to be inclusive. And even if one of them throws up a barrier, online learning will not be inclusive. So let's look at the functions of each of these layers. So technology is where we ensure that everyone has independent and effective access to the learning system. The content layer is where we focus on making sure that the learning material is usable by all. Pedagogy is where we ensure that inclusive teaching happens in a mindful manner. And the community layer is where we support one another in teaching and learning. So let's dive into each one of these. The technology layer consists of the learning management system and the associated teaching and learning tools. So we offer technology that's technically and functionally accessible to enable independent and effective teaching and learning for you, your instructors and students. So how we do this is we integrate with the latest global accessibility standards in our product process and openly report conformance to the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, level AAA standards and compliance, and our latest accessibility reports are posted on our accessibility page. Brightspace is also compatible with a variety of assistive technologies, including JAWS and NVDA. So JAWS is the most popular commercial screen reader on Windows, and NVDA is a free screen reader on Windows. There's some great examples of navigating Brightspace with these tools in the D2L Accessibility Lab. The labs are really cool. They showcase accessibility features of Brightspace that meet the sensory, physical, and cognitive needs of learners. And the link is in the chat for you to explore that if you'd like to. The content layer consists of all the learning content and associated materials. So it's important that to support the creation and maintenance of accessible content and materials. So we're going to look at these features: HTML templates, accessibility checker, built-in audio and video tools, and our Brightspace editor. And just a quick call out to our new accessibility checker icon that's been replaced in our February release for improved clarity. So the pedagogy layer is where course facilitators and instructors use that technology and content to deliver learning. So we're going to look at special access, release conditions, and accommodations, which are tools that will help deliver an inclusive learning experience. And this is where the principles of universal design for learning and UDL come in. So let's take a look now in our environment. So here I am logged in as Regina Davis, an instructor, and we are here at the organizational landing page. So the first thing I want to highlight is just that Brightspace has really been designed to have a simple, intuitive interface that's easy to navigate. And you can see that our page is broken down into kind of 3 panels. So we have this top area, which is our mini bar. We've got our course selector tool, which is where users can access all the courses that they're enrolled in, and even use this nice pin feature to surface courses at the top of their list to make them easy to access. The navigation bar next is where will see a list of tools for easy access. So that you can keep this really streamlined and simple to make it easy to find the things that you need for yourself and your learners. And finally, below we have our widget-based homepage. So Brightspace is designed to support keyboard navigation. So if you're a user using a keyboard to navigate the system, you can certainly do that in Brightspace. And how we can do that is I can click on the tab button, and I can scroll through the different menu items on my screen as so. And if I wanted to go back, I can click on the Shift button and also click Tab to go backwards. Now I'm landed on my profile area here. I'm going to click on Enter, and I want to talk about some of the ways that you can use these account settings to personalize the way that Brightspace interacts with you. So if we go to these account settings here, you are able to enable pronouns if you'd like to, and below we have these font settings here. So the default is medium, but you can change that font size to be large or huge, and adjust that depending on your needs. Didn't make any changes here, so I'm just going to head back. The Brightspace page is also designed to have appropriate HTML markup, so we have appropriate headings built throughout the page, making it easy to navigate to the system. So I'm going to jump into this Intro to Business course that Regina's teaching, and now we are at the course offering level. So you'll notice that this is a consistent layout. We see we still have these same areas in our mini bar. We have a navigation bar that's slightly different, but a similar layout, and then we have our widget-based homepage below. So let's go ahead and dive into the content area within Brightspace, into this course. And in our week 1 area, I'm going to click on this course learning outcomes page. So we have this really nice page, and I'm actually going to make it full screen here. And this page was created with an HTML template called the module introduction page, which is part of our version 5 HTML template package. So there's several purpose-built topic types included in this free HTML package that you can have access to, including a basic page, a video lecture page, conclusion pages. So if you do want to access these free templates, we can put a link in the chat for you to access those HTML templates and get them into your environment. And you can also build your own templates as well that you can upload and share throughout your organization. I want to take a moment as well to call out in the top left corner here one of our partners, which is ReadSpeaker. So this is a complete set of text-to-speech learning tools for Brightspace. And in the top left corner, it allows the user to read out that HTML content while seeing highlighting of the spoken text. So I can show you this.
Introduction to Business. Welcome to Introduction to Business.
So I'm just going to pause that. So this is a really powerful integration that Brightspace has that's available as an add-on. I also wanted to show you that you can zoom in on your page. So just by clicking on Control and then scrolling on my mouse, I can actually zoom up to 500%. And you'll notice that as I scroll down here, everything is still in the screen. So I don't need to do any horizontal scrolling or anything to see all the content within this page here. And I'm just going to scroll out to get back. Perfect. So now that we've looked here at this content page, I want to show you how you as an instructor can actually create this beautiful, accessible content for learners and without any coding or HTML experience required. So let's get out of this full screen view here. And what I've done is I've just created my own module within this course, just called my accessibility module for the purposes of this demonstration. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new page by clicking on Create New and Page. And I'm just going to title this page Renata's Page. And here I am within the area where I can start building my content. Now I could just start building on this blank page here, but instead I'm actually going to select one of those HTML templates I've populated. So I'm going to go over to the Select Template area, and I'm going to find this basic version 5 HTML template here. And let's just make this full screen here so we can see it better. And you can see that we've got a predefined layout that's been added in line on my page here. So the first thing I want to talk about is I can go ahead and actually change the text here if I wanted to. So I'm just going to call this my accessibility module. And if I select this text underneath, I can come up here into my color picker area and choose a color. So here we have a built-in color checker within the Brightspace HTML editor. So as you select a font color, the color contrast ratio is calculated and it indicates whether it conforms to the web content accessibility guidelines, those benchmarks. So I can see here that I've met the small and large contrast, but for demonstration purposes, I'll scroll down to show you when something would be inaccessible, and you can see that you get that instant feedback right away to let you know that it's not accessible. So I'm going to save that. The next thing I want to call out is the headings. So headings are really important. They allow learners with visual impairment to really understand the logical structure of the page and navigate to or skip over sections. So if you create a page and you're just using large font or bold text, the screen reader cannot make sense of the hierarchy or help the users quickly go to the section that they wanted. So within these HTML templates, if I highlight here this title of the module, you'll see that it's been created with a heading 1, which is the page title. And then my next heading here is heading 2 as like a major section heading. And then it's going to heading 3 and we'll go to H4 and so on. So the headings also need to be used in the correct order. And if the headings are not in the correct order, the accessibility checker will actually report that for you and let you know that you need to change that. So I'm going to go down to this heading 2 here. And the next thing I want to talk about is graphical equations. So I'm going to change my heading here. And what's really neat is that Brightspace includes an open platform-based equation editor that's built using MathType. So what I can do here is I'm going to go up into my Brightspace editor and click on this equation button. And I'm going to click on graphical equation. And I'll be presented with an interface enabling me to create an equation that I can insert into my page. So I'm going to do something really simple here and click Insert. And that equation will be added to the page. And this is accessible in the sense that a screen reader will read this equation back to an end user. So if you are using graphical equations in your course, I do highly recommend to use this option or the MathML equation if this is a feature that you're using. So in addition to using these beautiful templates, changing the colors, adding equations, you can also add images within your Brightspace content. So I'm going to go down to my heading 3 here and just type in images. And how you can do this is go up to the Insert Image area. And from here, I can select a file from my computer. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that file from my computer, which is my Accessibility Academy logo. And once I click Add, I'm going to be prompted to add an alternative text. So from an accessibility standpoint, we're prompting the user to add in that alt tag to make sure that if the image provides any context for the end user from a visual standpoint, we're adding in that alt tag to give that those users who need that information. Or if the image is decorative, you can just click that the image is decorative. In this case, I'd like to indicate that this is my Accessibility Academy logo. And I'll click OK and save. And here we are. You can also really easily drag and drop photos as well within this content area. So I'll also show you how simple that is. I've just got a picture that's sitting in a file and I'm just going to drag it and drop it here. So I've also got that photo here as well. So just wanted to show you how simple that is as well. I'm going to add in another heading here. And the next thing that I want to talk about is our Insert Stuff button. So I'm going to just type in video note here and select this, and I'm going to click that I want it to be heading 3. And I'm going to head up to my Insert Stuff button, which is this button here. And when you click on it, you'll notice that we have lots of different options. We have the ability to add in multimedia. So you could add in a video here from YouTube. You can embed a web page right into Brightspace as well. I'm going to show you how we can actually add in a video note that's automatically captioned. So if I click on Add Video Note here, you'll see yourself in the video, and I can actually start a new recording. So I'm going to say, welcome to Renata's accessibility page. Please review the content below and let me know if you have any questions. Welcome to Renata's. I'm going to click on next. I'm going to make a title for my video. So let's just say accessibility video note. I can add in a description if I'd like. I'm going to skip that step for now. And then I'm going to choose a language that I've spoken in. And I'm going to select automatically generate captions from the audio and select next. So from an accessibility standpoint, Brightspace uses the AWS transcribe service to automatically caption the audio based on the video clip I just recorded. And this is a really great way to enhance the accessibility of any video or audio that you upload into Brightspace. So I'm going to click on insert, and then the video is being processed and it's going to render in line soon. But while we're waiting for that, I want to tell you that once you're done building out your page, we have the ability to run our Brightspace accessibility checker. So this is a dedicated button in the Brightspace editor that reviews your added content and looks for known issues that may not comply with the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, accessibility standards. So I'm going to go over and find that accessibility checker right here. And I'm going to select it, and you'll notice that I have an image here that's flagged, the one that I dragged and dropped, the second one, and it's telling me that I need to either add that alternative text or mark that image as decorative. So I'm going to, in this case, mark the image as decorative, and then I'm going to be able to click repair. It looks like, let's try that again. Okay. So let's mark it as decorative, and then I'm going to be able to click repair. Now I can see that I've been successful and that no accessibility issues have been detected. So I can click OK, and I'm going to click Save and Close to build out that content page that we've created. So another powerful thing about these templates and Brightspace as a whole is that it's been designed to be mobile responsive. So this is a web version of Brightspace, but it's been designed to be accessible on any device such as a phone or a tablet. So as an example here, I can shrink my screen down. And what you'll notice is that the images and the text and the other components of the page are automatically going to resize based on the screen real estate that's available to me. So this is a really great feature to ensure that the Brightspace is accessible no matter what device that you're using. So let's head back down to where we added in that video note here. And I can see that I can click here, and I've added the closed captions. I need to actually select them and turn them on, and then we can see what these look like. So I'm just going to click play here, and you can see those automatic closed captions that are here generated for us. What's really neat about this is that you are able to actually edit your audio and video content within Brightspace, and we can do that in the media library. So I'm going to head to the media library now, and really the media library is the central hub for all of your audio and video content in Brightspace. So in this environment here, it's on my navigation bar, so I'm going to head to the media library. And it's really a one-stop shop. So I'm just gonna use a video that I recorded previously, as this one's still working. So I'm gonna go into a video that I've already created here, same way through the video note tool, and I'm gonna actually go in and edit it. So here I can see that I have my closed captions that have already been generated for me. And if I wanted to edit any of this text, I can edit this text, so I can add in anything or change any spelling that might be incorrect. And then another thing that you can do is if you uploaded a video into Brightspace, you could actually upload closed captions. So you could upload a file to provide those closed captions. And the other area that I want to show you here is the table of contents area. So a really powerful tool is the ability to create these chapters. So maybe you have a video lecture that you've uploaded, you can add in chapters to chunk the content. So the ability to really scaffold or chunk that video content to make it more digestible is really, really powerful. And we can do that really, really easily. If I just select an area here on my video, I can add in a chapter. Say I just want to say part 1 here, and then it's going to create a little marker here, and I can create another one if I wanted here as well. So it's really simple to add those chapters in. And we can also use some very basic video editing tools here as well. If I wanted to, for example, cut out a section of this video, I can use these marking tools, for example, and if I can use this, say if I wanted to cut this section out and use this cut tool, and that's going to eliminate that area of my video. So I'm able to do that, make these adjustments here within my video, and any adjustments that I make are going to automatically update wherever you have that video within Brightspace. You can also see older versions of your video as well here. I'm just going to click on finish. All right, so going beyond content authoring, I just want to talk a little bit about the Brightspace editor here. And you notice that we're signed in as Regina Davis, and you can see that the Brightspace editor was available in content, but the Brightspace editor is also available to learners who are posting, for example, in a discussion forum or are submitting to an assignment. So the Brightspace editor is found nearly everywhere you can create content within Brightspace. And even as an instructor, for example, if I come back to the home page and I'm creating an announcement for my learners, I will see the Brightspace editor here as well. So I can create a new announcement, and here I have my Brightspace editor. So I'm able to also, again, use that accessibility checker and ensure that whatever content I'm providing to my learners, it is accessible for all. All right, let's head back to our home page. So we've talked about the content layer consisting of the learning content and ensuring that it's accessible for all. So the next area we want to talk about is the pedagogy layer. So I want to show you how course facilitators and instructors can use inclusive tools and processes to help deliver an inclusive learning experience. So there's 3 tools that I'm going to show you. The first tool is accommodations, and we find those accommodations within the class list tool. So accommodations are a feature built into the class list tool that allow an instructor to set quiz time extensions and multipliers, which will persist across all quizzes in your course. So as I come here to the class list, I can see already that Faith Alexander has a little icon here beside her. And this is really helpful as Faith already has accommodations set up. So if you're coming here, it's a really quick preview to see who in your course has accommodations set up. So let's dive in to see what those accommodations look like if I click on the drop down and go to Edit Accommodations. So here I can see that Faith has been allotted an extra 60 minutes to every quiz within the course. You could also set it up so that she, for example, has 1.5 times the original quiz time if you wanted to here as well. So this is a really great feature. And the system will remember the settings for the student on all quizzes in the course as either that multiplier or of the original time limit or providing them with that extra time. The next 2 tools help instructors set criteria for the availability of content, which can be useful for accommodating learners for diverse needs. So let's head back into the content area. And I want to talk to you about special access. So special access is a feature that applies to accessible activities, and it allows instructors to differentiate assessment requirements for learners. So for example, you can grant a student or a specific group of students extended deadlines to complete an assignment, a survey, or a quiz. So let me show you how it works. In this content area, I'm going to go into my week 2 area and go to this assignment proposal here. And now what you're seeing here is the new content experience and the inline display of activities where the instructor can see all of the details about the assignment at the top in this activity content area. And then we've got this really, really all-inclusive completion summary here at the bottom. So I can see right away when I look at this completion summary that Carlos has been granted special access for this assignment. It looks like he's been given a different due date than the rest of the class. So let's look at how to actually set this up. And I can actually hop right into the editing experience for this assignment by just not having to go anywhere else but clicking on Edit Activity here. And now I'm going to be in my assignment editing experience, and I'm going to find special access under availability, dates, and conditions. And already here, I can see that I've got one user with special access, and I can click on this Manage Special Access area. So here, we saw this before, Carlos has this special access. If I want to add users to special access, I can do that. So from here, I've got everybody else in my class. If I also wanted to provide Faith with an extended due date, I could do that as well. So I can change her due date to be on the 26th, for example, and I can save that. And I can see all my different instances here of who has special access and what those specific details are. So I'll just save and close here. So this is just a really great way to be able to provide that flexibility for learners with diverse needs. So save and close. Next up are release conditions. So release conditions enable differentiated learning through selective release of content based on a learner's progress and level. So a really common use of release conditions is to hide content until a certain condition is met. So this helps students by only showing them the next thing that they need to do without overwhelming them with all of the content that they might have left. So for example, you could create a release condition that required learners to view a content topic before they accessed a quiz, or one that required them to post to a discussion forum before they could see a particular content module. So an amazing way to use learning conditions is to create a custom learning path through your course by automatically releasing enrichment or remediation content based on learner achievement. So here's an example. I have this additional support module, and you'll notice that it has a little cog with an I beside it. This represents a release condition. And when I've opened it up here, I can see that I have a variety of materials to support learners who need a little bit of extra help. So when I've clicked on this module, I can even see at the top here that this is only visible if conditions are met. Let's look at the conditions that we've set up here. So if I click on View Release Conditions, I can see that this is only going to be seen by learners that receive less than or equal to 70% on both week 1 and week 2 quiz. So with this content, I'm able to give them that information to get them on the right track automatically and right away. So when that learner requires that remedial intervention, you're right there serving up that content to them. So this is a really great way to automate that release of those materials to learners and meet those accommodations and requirements to help personalize the learning experience. So we've discussed the 3 layers: technology, content, pedagogy, and the final layer is community. So we truly believe that a thriving learning community is an essential part of effective online experience. And this leads me into showing you our accessibility gateway. So we offer diverse resources to support the Brightspace community through our D2L's Accessibility Gateway, and we'll be popping the link in the chat for you. Thank you to check that out. So it really serves as a single point of access for all the help that you need when it comes to integrating accessibility best practices into teaching and learning. So just to kind of show you what we have here. The Accessibility Academy, I'm going to show you how to get to this as well. So the Accessibility Academy is a series of courses that we have in our Learning Center that are all about accessibility and assistive technologies. We have our accessibility library where you can explore a collection of articles that support customers in their efforts towards full stack accessibility. Our accessibility interest group, this is an amazing group to join. It's hosted by our D2L accessibility team where you can connect with others that are passionate about accessibility. And finally, accessibility discussions. So accessing any discussions that are taking place about accessibility. So I want to show you how to access the Accessibility Academy, which is a series of courses in our Learning Center. If you're just right on the main community homepage. So here I'm logged into community. And if I go from here at the top, resources, and then to the Learning Center, I'm going to have a new tab open for me. And this space is going to look a little bit different for you than me, but what you'll see at the top is an option to go to the Accessibility Academy, and here you'll see all of the different courses that can help you learn more about accessibility within Brightspace. So there's a bunch of amazing courses. We were talking before about the online accessibility lab. So I'll just hop into that one to show you really quickly. So as we were saying, it showcases the accessibility features of Brightspace that meet the sensory, physical, and cognitive needs of learners. And within here, you are able to actually see examples of these different tools being used. And so there's lots of amazing resources within here to help you learn more about those opportunities. So that is the Online Accessibility Lab. If I just head back to the main page, we also have some specific courses for supporting students with low vision, supporting learners with screen readers. And I also want to show you this one here, the Brightspace Toolkit for Accessibility in D2L. So this is in UDL, this is an amazing course as well that really helps you understand more about universal design for learning and then the actual tools within Brightspace that will help you make learning accessible as well. All right, I'm going to head back to our slide deck here. So this is just a review of that final layer of community, and I just showed you those areas to explore. And next is our accessibility interest group. So if you did want to join our accessibility interest group, there is a QR code that you can use, and we'll also put a link in the chat for you to, with a direct link to that group for you to join. Next is our higher education faculty community group. So this is a great space to connect with individuals from other institutions that use Brightspace. So you can ask questions, post in the discussions, and get ideas on new ways to use Brightspace. So this is another great group that we encourage you to join, and we'll also put the link in the chat for you here. Lots of amazing opportunities to connect with others. And the next one here is our Champions program. So this is a really great opportunity for you to sign up. You can receive points for attending webinars, submitting blog posts, or even doing reviews. And then you can redeem those points for some neat goodies. So we encourage you to sign up to become a champion as well. And just wanted to direct your attention towards the next sessions that we have coming up. So we've got a series coming up. Next one is on competency-based education in April. And then we have a bunch of sessions on focusing on assessments throughout the summer months. And also the link in the chat to register for those will be there. So you can register actually for all of them in one shot if you'd like to, which is awesome. And this leads us to our discussion time and our time for questions. So we have a few discussion areas for you to talk through. And of course, you're welcome to pose any of your own discussion questions as well. But we'd love to learn what's a takeaway from today's session that you plan to apply in your own learning or implement. Or share a specific challenge maybe you faced regarding accessibility and how you addressed it or how you plan to address it. So if you'd like to come off mute and share anything, just simply raise your hand and we can unmute you. Or feel free to post your discussion thoughts in the chat as well.
We've had a very busy Q&A today, Renata. Lots of great questions. I'm just looking through here. Oh, someone has asked again about the recording. Would you mind just clarifying if the recording will be sent out?
Yes, the recording will be shared out, so it will be found on the Brightspace community. So you will have access to that.
Okay, I'm just wondering, Aggie, is there anything you wanted to share from our accessibility team?
Yeah, just wanted to say thank you all for coming in and joining this session today. And in case, like I saw a question about a student having challenges with using Brightspace. So our team is always ready to have conversations with users, instructors, or students, whoever is having challenges using assistive technologies or any kind of accessibility challenges. So please feel free to send your requests or your questions to accessibility@d2l.com. One of our team members will respond to your question. And in case needed, we can set up virtual meetings to understand the challenges, like the context of how you are facing those difficulties, and our team will be ready to help you anytime. And always for D2L, accessibility is a journey. We never claim like we are 100% accessible, but we will always work with our customers so that together we can build an accessible ecosystem.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Aggie.
Just some more questions from the chat. Do we have a list or can we create a list of where ReadSpeaker does appear versus the areas within Brightspace where it does not appear? It seems this customer is having some frustrations that it doesn't work everywhere within Brightspace. Augie, maybe you can clarify on that, where we see ReadSpeaker function and where we don't?
I don't have an answer to that now, like all places where ReadSpeaker functions, but I can check and we'll get back to you later, like after hearing from other team members. Like, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's a great question too.
And then one more from the Q&A, Renata. Is there a plan to make drag and drop images ask for alternative text upon insert?
That's a really great question as well. As you noticed, we didn't get prompted when I did the drag and drop, and only got prompted to add the alt text when I hit the accessibility checker. Yeah, that's another great question that I don't have the answer to right now, but certainly something that we can follow up on in the Q&A that we post to the community along with the resources. If there is a plan, if there is something that we can share with you, we'll include it in the Q&A document. But thanks for that question. We'll still keep it open if you have any discussion, other discussion areas that you'd like to talk about or any questions, but I will just put up our feedback survey up on the screen now if you'd like to share your feedback with us on this session. It really helps us to improve these offerings in future sessions to meet your needs. So we will also put this link in the chat, and you can also use the QR code if you'd like. And thank you, thanks Joy for your note in the chat about your plans to improve overall accessibility in Brightspace. That is amazing to hear. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We will stick around for the next few minutes if there are any questions that do come up, or if anyone else would like to share anything. If not, feel free to log out, and we will definitely be posting the recording and the resources from this session. Really appreciate your participation and for joining us today, and looking forward to seeing you at one of our next Bright Ideas sessions. Take care.